The Bearcat Basketball Podcast is now presented by the Healthcare Management Group. Shout out to everyone at HCMG, and thank you for the support. Welcome back to another episode of the Bearcat Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Meacham, former UC basketball player from 1997 to 1999 under the legendary coach, my guy, Bob Huggins. And I was fortunate enough to wear the iconic Jordan brand unis during my time. You can follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Alex_Meacham. Meacham spelled M-E-A-C-H-A-M. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Alex Meacham. I'm on Snapchat, Big Meach 41. And thanks to my producer, Stu Holt, I'm on TikTok at Alex Meacham 41. Now, Bearcat fans, I'm excited to welcome in my next guest, who also serves as my producer for the Bearcat Basketball Podcast. And on June 14th of this year, my producer, Stu Holt, was named the new head coach and program director for the Walnut Hills basketball program. And I'm so proud of this guy, and I wanted to have him on and discuss his journey and hoops and just kind of go through his story on how he was a former Walnut Hills student, player, and now comes back as the head basketball coach. And Bearcat fans, remember this. He's coaching one of the best players in the United States of America, named Tyler McKinley, who is one of the top recruits that the Bearcats are after right now. So on behalf of the Bearcat Basketball Podcast, I would like to say congratulations and good to my guy, Stu Holt.
Very good. Very good. Very, very good.
Stu, how do you feel?
Good.
Very, very good. You got a little
feel good.
You got a different walk going right now. I feel like your swag's a little bit different.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
So okay, there are a couple things we need to do. We do need to get into your journey on how all this happened. I think it's fascinating for people to hear, how you became the head coach of Walnut Hills and just your love for the school itself. I do want to talk about your expectations for the basketball program, and you're now the leader. You're the director of the program. But I want to go back a little bit, and I don't want to start on a sad note, but I do want to talk on a moment that you and I shared that was so very unique. Do you remember January 26, 2020?
Absolutely. Of course. January 26, 2020. Rest in peace to the GOAT, the one and only Kobe Bean Bryant.
Can you tell everyone when Kobe died, and for those that don't know, I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan. Michael Jordan's the GOAT. For Stu, Kobe Bean Bryant is the GOAT. We've had many discussions on who's the GOAT, and he won't come off that Kobe Bean Bryant ledge. We'll let him have that. And we're set up one day. It was a Sunday. Mm-hmm. We were doing a podcast and I think a video shoot that day.
It was for jersey reveal.
It was for our jersey reveal for Shining Star.
Yep.
And Kobe had died. The news came out, I think, early that morning.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, it was during the Pro Bowl game, because that's how I found out. The Pro Bowl game for the NFL was on, and it was like breaking news. And then they said it. I got a lot of text messages and phone calls, and I'm like, what? I'm like, this is fake. But no, they announced it. I'm like, wow, unbelievable.
And for you and I, as many debates as we have had in the past, to walk in that gym and look at each other, and you just were like, there's nothing to say.
Yeah. I mean, it's like one of those speechless moments. It's like, you're like, this ain't real. This can't be real.
He's going to come out like he's going to show up in a pier somewhere. There's no way because you know how TMZ and all these different outlets will put something out that something's happened to somebody and it turns out to be not what they initially said. A lot of news outlets want to be first instead of correct.
Exactly, which is why people were saying Rick Fox was on. I'm like, Rick Fox. Yeah, remember that? They were like, Rick Fox was on the helicopter. I'm like, Rick Fox?
Why they put my guy Rick Fox
I know Rick Fox is like, what?
Yeah, Rick Fox was at home like, wait, what?
Like,
how did I?
But yeah, people just want to be first, like you said. They'll report anything.
Yep.
Just to try to get the jump.
Yep. And I told myself after that, I said I will no longer debate Kobe and Michael Jordan because of the tragedy of Kobe passing away. I said let's just leave it, leave it alone. But I will always remember that moment of you and I, because we didn't talk about it, and then I see you at the gym, and I'm like, you know what, the podcast that I had set up, we're gonna trash it. We're actually gonna talk a little bit about Kobe, and I'll never forget that moment. But to kind of segue into some positive things, we're all very proud of you for accomplishing something that I don't think you had originally had set out for.
Yeah.
Would that be correct?
Yeah.
If we rewind the tape.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's something that it happened so fast. You know what I mean? I wasn't really expecting it, but that's life. You know what I mean? Life throws stuff at you, and a lot of times your greatest opportunities come when you least expect it. So,
You're 27 years old.
I'm 27.
I wonder, I'm trying to think, who's the youngest varsity coach in the greater Cincinnati area? Would that be Stu Holt?
It might be. It might be, man. I'm not sure. But it might be. It might be. It's crazy.
And you have some big shoes to fill. Ricardo Hill has, done an excellent job with the Walnut Hills program, and he's basically passing the baton to you with a program that's in good shape.
Yeah.
It's not like,
he
left out on some like scandalous terms, and it's like, you gotta, it's,
yeah, absolutely, man. And it's like, I always tell people the best way to honor somebody's legacy is to continue it and then take it to another level.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm setting out to do, is to take what he's done, and just help extend it and take it to that next level, man. And so, we're working, man. We've been working since day one to try to make that happen, and so it's gonna be exciting. The season is in 4 months, which is crazy.
Unbelievable. And you're right there in the swing of things with the summer, the June ball, correct?
Yeah. So our June ball just ended. So I got the job in the middle of June. Right. And so
June 14th.
June 14th, right in the middle. Right.
Yeah.
And so it's been interesting. The first 2 weeks of June were very interesting, not having an appointed leader and stuff like that, But ever since that day, we've been moving forward. We've had one team camp that we did in Sandusky that went well for us. And we've had some scrimmages. So,
was that the Midwest Live?
It was the Midwest Live.
It seemed now I wasn't there, but I saw some things on social media, and it seemed like a great event. There were a lot of high-level players there.
It was a really good event. It was, the Cedar Point facility was amazing.
I've heard.
Yeah, great leadership. They did a great job. It was well put together, well organized. Definitely a great event. You had a lot of good teams up there from Cincinnati, teams from Michigan. It was like a Cincinnati, Michigan type thing, I think. So it was great, man. I definitely look forward to going back again next year because it was definitely a great event.
Now, I do want to get into Tyler McKinley here at some point, but let's go through a couple things with your journey. Stu, you attended Walnut Hills as a student for 4 years. 6 years.
7th grade.
Well, okay. I was thinking high school.
Yeah. But that's the thing about Walnut. It's so different because there's no separate building. So
you're in the same building.
7th through 12th is all one building. So
I thought, okay.
There's no junior high, but there's a junior high gym, but there's not a junior high building.
Okay.
So as a 7th grader, you can have a class right next to somebody who's 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
So
wow. So essentially, okay, you got to help me out with the math. Wait a minute. Does that make 15 years? you've been a part of
15 straight
Walnut Hills.
years.
Is that right?
15 years, yep.
That's good math.
Yeah, that was
How about
great.
that?
Very good. Very good.
Wow. So you served. So you were 6 as a student,
Yes.
/ athlete, and 9 as a
coach.
coach.
Yep. The last 15 years. This will be year 16 coming up.
Wow.
And so it's been crazy, man. The cool thing about it is, so I graduated in 2013, right?
Yeah.
Which made my senior year or 2012-2013 season, which means this upcoming season is the 10-year anniversary of that Final Four team, my senior year.
How fitting.
That's crazy.
That's one of the greatest teams in Walnut Hills history.
Absolutely. And so
Final Four.
So
Winningest team ever in Walnut Hills history.
Absolutely.
You played on.
Absolutely.
Anniversary's coming up.
Yep.
And you're now the leader of the
I'm
program.
now the leader of the program.
Amazing.
It's amazing, man. And so it's been crazy, man. It's been an honor for sure, and it's definitely just exciting, man. You know. So
when did it hit you?
I'm not sure if it has.
Okay. Good answer.
I'm not sure if it has.
Good answer. Okay.
Yeah.
It will.
It will for sure.
It might be game 1.
I'm like, is he crying? It's like, why is he sitting? Is that the coach? Is that the new coach? He's crying on the bench. No, but yeah, it'll probably be there. I'm not sure. But I've been there for so long. The crazy thing is when you're somewhere for so long, you know, and you think like maybe one day that might happen.
Yeah.
But then when something that's been in your mind becomes reality, it's kind of weird.
Here's the thing about it though, Stu. For as long as I've known you, I think we go back 2017, right? When we did the podcast over at UC.
Yeah, UC. I think it was about
Yeah, I remember that you had a button-up shirt, you had a sweater.
Oh, I did have a button-up shirt,
vest, and some khakis on.
Yeah.
And I think you spilled pizza sauce on your laptop.
There was dry pizza sauce on my laptop.
I remember all the details. Do I not?
That's it.
To a T.
That was it.
And that was 2017. It was over at UC at the those apartments, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
VP3.
Some of the athletes live in.
Yep. Athletes live there.
Right.
Yep.
So as long as I've known you, I've never heard you come out and say, I want to be the head coach of Walnut Hills.
Yeah.
Now, you could have said that to other people. It could have been in your mind, but I never heard you say it to me, which I've always found interesting. Like you've never been like, I'm going to be the next head coach of Walnut Hills.
And the thing is, it's more of something that a lot of people would say to me. You know what I mean?
Jay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Jay, you know, it was something that's like, oh, you definitely next eventually. Like you've been here, you know, you played here and all of that, but for me, when I was first a head coach there, 7th grade, and I tell people this all the time, like, it was never in my mind, like, I want to move up. You know, I want to be the 8th grade coach next. It was never in my mind. Like, that was something that Cardo was like, okay, I want you to be the 8th grade coach next. And I'm like, okay, all right, I guess that's fine, you know.
To move up with the kids you coached.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, I guess.
Was that with Kendall?
Kendall was my assistant 7th grade.
Okay.
And then when I moved up to 8th grade, JB was my assistant.
Okay.
And Kendall was Ant's assistant because Ant ended up doing 7th grade.
Okay.
Antheus was the freshman coach this year.
Okay.
This past year. So, and then after 8th grade, he's like, okay, freshman. I'm like, okay, you know, but it's not something that I was striving for to move up to that next team or whatever. So I coached the same class 3 straight years. 7th, 8th, and then 9th. So the class of 22 who actually graduated this year
was the class you started with.
It's just everything. That's
amazing.
Everything. The whole story is.
I did not know that.
The whole story is crazy.
Okay,
man.
so that leads me to. So I didn't know that. So that leads me to ask you this.
Okay.
You know your high school career, and I'll be honest with you. I don't know enough about your high school career. I know that in 2013 you were hurt, right?
Yes.
Was it your shoulder?
It was.
Do I remember that correctly? Did you take a charge from like Big Dog or somebody?
It wasn't from Big Dog, but it was from a kid. One kid was 6'6", the other kid was 6'5". I took a charge on one of my teammates, and he fell on my shoulder, and then the dude that was supposed to be guarding him, because I was in help side, fell on my shoulder as well. So 2 people.
See, that's what you get for taking charges. I never took a charge in my life.
Hey. And the crazy thing is, I'm huge on charges as a coach. Huge on it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Huge on it. You know, and my players know. My players know that's how I got hurt. And I'm like, hey.
Do you think that you getting hurt? Okay, was it 2013 you got hurt, or was it 12? It was 2000. It was before, right?
It was 2013.
I mean, but I'm saying it was before the tournament.
Yes, January 30th, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you think you getting hurt allowed you to rebrand yourself and start looking at some other things? Because you transitioned into media stuff.
And see, shout out to Kobe. So we just talked about Kobe.
Sure did.
And I've been watching interviews on Kobe. You know, so I've just been randomly watching interviews, and then I also watched Kobe's Muse. And in all those interviews, it was after he retired, right? So he had these interviews, and he was talking about his books, his movies that he was working on. He got an Oscar, right? And he was saying, like, while he was playing, he would be reading, and they'd be like, "What are you reading?" He was studying storytelling. So when he retired, he already knew, like, this is my next thing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And so the crazy thing is, shout out to my boy Steven Akambi, because we were in
former Walnut Hills grad.
Yes, biology class. No, it wasn't. It was physics. Sorry, physics class, and it was my senior year, and we sat right next to each other. And we would always get in trouble. And the reason why we would get in trouble is because, shout out to Dr. M, as the teacher's name, we were always talking about, believe it or not, film ideas, show ideas, media stuff, right? And we were like, oh, we're going to have a comedy show. Or no, we're going to do a talk show. This is before we had any equipment. This is before we had anything, right? Before we did anything. But reason why I say shout out to Kobe is because, you know, he was talking about how even while he was playing, he had those interests. And it was the same for me. My senior year, I started having interest in storytelling and show producing and stuff like that, even though I had never did it yet. And so when I got hurt, it was something that I was like, okay, we should go ahead and capitalize on these ideas. You know what I mean? And so we started trying to do different shows. We tried to do a film that didn't work out at all. We didn't have no equipment.
Right.
We had all these ideas. We had no equipment.
Yeah.
And then when we did get the equipment, we didn't know what we were doing. But so, you know, when I got hurt, man, it's not something I was like, okay, now it's time for me to do something else. Right. It was at the time I'm like, well, I don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? It's like, because in the blink of an eye, everything changes.
Yeah. So Ricardo's the one that asked you to coach.
Yes.
You weren't pursuing a coaching job.
Not at all.
So Ricardo Hill, for those out there, Ricardo Hill is the head coach of Walnut Hills at the time, and he approached you about it. And was it something where you were like, yeah, I'm in, or was it, let me think about that?
It was more well, first of all, I was not interested in doing anything serious with basketball. I think when something ends not on your terms, you can become a little bitter.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
for me, I'm like, you know, I'm cool on basketball.
Yeah.
You know, I'm into media and stuff now.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna just do that. Then he randomly hit me up and he was like, yeah, I would love for you to be on our staff. And at first I'm like, probably not. That's not me. Right. And then I talked to my parents about it. And literally my dad was like, you're gonna do it, right? And it's the way that he said it. I honestly think if he would have just been like, well, okay, just, you know, think about it, I probably would have not did it. But the way that he said it made it seem like, it made me think like, maybe I should do it.
Yeah, he knows something.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, all right, I guess I might try it or whatever. I'll try it out. So I was a varsity assistant my first year, and it was interesting, you know, because it was my teammates from last year, you know. So it's like, you know, it's like, oh, okay, Stu's here, not Coach Stu. Stu's here. He's our teammate, and I'm still friends with the guys. One of those people was Stephen Akambi.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like, you know, and then that's when I first met Maceo Teague.
Yeah.
That was his junior year, my first year coaching.
Yep.
And then we got close. And so, yeah, man, it was not something I was trying to pursue. It was not something that was in my radar at all. But sometimes it just takes an invitation for you to end up in a place where, you belong. So,
which is interesting because you and I, our stories kind of parallel in that, you get injured, okay, and that injury, say what you want, I believe, led to you being the head coach today.
Yeah.
Right? You agree with that?
Oh, 100%.
Right?
100%.
And my high school career, I dealt with an injury, but my high school career led to me being a walk-on at UC. If I didn't go through that, what I went through, I would have probably went to a D3, Thomas More, Mount St. Joe, Denison, and played. I would have never stepped foot on a Bearcat court. I wasn't good enough, right?
Yeah.
But it's just, life's journey, which leads me to say this. I think that's why guys like you make great leaders of young men, because you come at it with a different perspective now, right? So it's like not everybody's journey is going to be like Tyler McKinley. Tyler McKinley is not your everyday kid walking through any high school in Cincinnati.
Right.
Maceo Teague, Carleek Jones, Darius Baisley. Those kids just are not walking through high school, schools, gyms. They're very rare. There are more stories like what you go through, what I go through. Yeah. But having a leader to talk to these young people about how to overcome those obstacles and, okay, you got to just rebrand yourself and transition yourself to something different.
Will Smith, shout out to him, even though,
I know where you're going with this.
Yes. So he said a quote, and when I heard it, it hit me right in the face.
You've been waiting to say it.
It just came to my mind. No, that just came to me.
I know he's used that. It's in his phone, actually.
I'm telling you, it just came to me. It just came to me.
Okay.
But what he said was a lot of people. What he said is a lot of people see things as birth, life, death, and then that's it. He said, but it's really birth, life, death, rebirth. But a lot of times we never catch the rebirth because we're still holding on to what was.
Yes.
Right? And so that's really a big part of my story, man, because just when I thought my career was over, it was only getting started.
It was only good.
It was only getting started,
That's good stuff.
And I have a coach that he was one of the assistant coaches. Shout out to Coach Don. And I always tease him like, you ended my career, because when we were scrimmaging in practice, I was not in at the time. Somebody didn't take a charge. And he was like, Stu, get in there, take a charge. I know you'll take one. And so
his fault.
Yeah, I tell him all the time, I'm like, you know what, Don, you ended my career. And he always says, yeah, but I started a new one.
You know what? Is he still on the staff?
He's not now.
You got rid of him? Don, I'm going to have to let you go. Oh, payback is a mother, Don. Poor Don. I'm going to tell you what.
You ended my career, now
I made your career, Don. Shout out to homie Don. Listen,
man.
I need you to do something. Poor Don. I need you to write him a letter, though.
Okay.
And thank him.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
For sure. Me and him have a great relationship, man. He's really been like a mentor for me for sure over the years. Yeah. He was there when I was coaching at 18, 19, coaching these AU teams as well. And he's always been there to try to help me along the way, And so shout out to Coach Don, man. He's been a great mentor for me for sure. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit and we'll end the podcast here. This was good stuff, though. But I want to talk about Tyler McKinley because a lot of Bearcat fans out there know of Tyler. Some have seen him play. You can go on the internet and see a lot of clips of him. He's blowing up on the AU circuit right now. Tyler McKinley, you've known him for a long time. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you know his brother Alex as well as I do. In your eyes, what type of college player will Tyler McKinley be?
Like as far as like a player example, or the thing about Tyler is this: he's like a Swiss Army knife. We've had him bring the ball up, we've had him post up.
I've seen that. Yeah,
he'll hit the mid-range shot, he'll hit the three, he'll dunk on you. And so he's long, athletic, and it's like for him, man, he'll be whatever a team needs him to be.
Mm-hmm.
And for a coach, that's like a dream come true, and his attitude, it's not just his ability, but his attitude is I'll be whatever you need me to be.
Yeah.
Each day, whatever you need me to be today. It might not even been the same what you needed from me yesterday.
Yeah.
But whatever you need from me today, coach, I'll be that. And so for him, man, when he gets to the next level, he's just going to be a versatile player, man. He's just, like I said, he can do it all. He can do it all. And his greatest attribute really is his decision making. He sees the floor pretty well, not pretty well, very well. And it's like he's very unselfish. It's almost like, it's not like he's pass first, but it's like he just makes the right play.
Sure.
Whatever the right play is, you can count on him to make that play.
Yeah.
And so that's just his game overall, man.
What are your plans in terms of development with Tyler this season?
So for him, one of his big areas of improvement is just getting stronger. Definitely getting in that weight room, coming back more dominant physically. And so just working on different things, man, strengthening some areas that he needs to work on, working on his body and stuff like that. It's going to be a big part of his development, man. And so I definitely think he's going to come back even more dominant than he was last year.
Well, what most people don't know is he's still so very young.
He's young.
People think he's older than what he really is.
He's young. He's young, and his body's still developing.
Yeah.
And so his mind's still developing, as all kids. But, like I said, man, I think he's going to take a big jump this year.
So how are you going to play him this coming season versus maybe what Ricardo did? Because, and no offense to Ricardo, but every coach has a different – you've got a head coach and then you've got, let's say, 3 assistants on the bench. Every assistant sees the game a little bit differently and has a different opinion, right?
Absolutely.
So now that you're standing up, okay, you're the guy standing up. How are you going to play him? Are you going to do anything differently?
Possibly.
Oh, you don't want to play? You don't want to show your cards just yet?
Possibly. I'm not sure. Okay. You know what I mean? We'll have to see. We'll have to see when the time comes. Everybody will see.
Well, let me say this. So, and what I mean by that is I know you, and I think you'll put his personal development over anything, meaning you're going to put him in position to whatever needs to be done to help him for the next level.
Right.
Am I right?
Absolutely. We got some things. Okay. We got some very good things.
Okay.
Very good things. I will hint at this and say, no, I won't.
Yeah, wait a minute, you can't.
Yes, I can.
You can't do that.
Yes, I can.
Cruzy.
Hey, all I'm saying is it will be good. And my thing is this for anybody, for any player, right? Is at the end of the day, it's all about putting guys in a position to be at their strengths and to develop and to be at their best, at the end of the day. And there's definitely some situations, some areas that will be great for him, for others, but it's going to be good.
That was the most politically bullshit. All right, so let me say this.
Yes.
I would love to see Tyler end up a Bearcat. You know that. We've talked about this. And I'm not sitting here to tell you to push him to UC. I am, but I'm not. So, but on a serious note, it would be awesome to see him stay in town and be a hometown hero. And if things work out, he's alongside Rayvon Griffith. I think that would be truly amazing to see that. And on top of that, here's the thing that I love. If you got a young man like Rayvon staying home, hopefully Tyler will stay home. I think both of them are going to be NBA players. You know, I went to the Smith League a couple weeks ago, and I'm watching Darius Baisley, Carlik Jones. You know, these are in Maceo wasn't there, but Maceo's, you know, all three of those guys are, well, obviously Baisley has more NBA experience playing with OKC, and then I think Carlik's with the Chicago Bulls Summer League. I'm not sure with Mace who picked him up yet.
Right.
But, I mean, it's just awesome. Like, they're kids at the Smith League just hovering around these guys, wanting picture and autographs, and they're influencing that next generation. So Tyler, as young as he is and not knowing, and Rayvon not knowing, they are influencing a whole generation of young people. And if, you know, if the things work out the way they should, they'll be playing in the league one day and coming back to the Smith League, coming back to Walnut Hills.
Yeah.
And the next generation's like, yo,
Yeah.
that's Tyler McKinley right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that comes with responsibility.
Yes.
You know, that comes with responsibility, man. It's an honor and a privilege to be in a position of influence. And you have to take that and know that you're responsible, man. You can inspire people at such a higher level, especially young kids. And you can't take that for granted. Yep. You know, you can't squander that, man, because that's it's a true honor, man. And it's an opportunity to make a difference, right? And so my thing, even with our program, is, you know, shout out to Tim Tebow. And what Tim Tebow was saying was a lot of us are striving to live a life of success, but we also need to be striving to live a life of significance, right? And so a lot of times we're looking at what can I achieve, what can I gain, what can I attain, right? And that's success, right? And that's good. You want to be successful. At the same time, you want to have a life of significance as well, as far as impacting those around you, your community, the young kids, like I was saying, and making a difference, you know, and inspire the next generation. So that's one thing that our program is going to be about, that our players are going to be about, is we're going to strive for success, but we're also going to strive for significance as well. So
I love it. Well, I will say this, that the young men at Walnut Hills are in great hands with you in terms of leadership, especially the off-the-court stuff. Them developing as young men, they're in great hands. Whatever happens on the court happens on the court, but you're going to help them control the other things, and I think that is a large reason why you were hired at Walnut Hills. Now, I want to end with this. I've got 4 quick questions.
Oh, very good.
Quick answers for you.
Let's go.
Ready for this? Cruzy, are you ready? Okay. Quick questions, quick answers. With head coach
Good.
Stu Holt.
Let's go.
Name the coach you most admire.
Ricardo Hill.
Ricardo Hill. Wow, great.
I got 2 of them. I got to say 2.
Okay.
Kevin Handel.
Oh, wow. Okay. Assistant coach.
Yes.
At Walnut Hills.
Yes. He was my JV coach, and it was a time where things were not looking so great for me, and he made a difference. So he always believed in me too. So
did you keep him on staff?
You know, I wish the best for everybody.
All right. Next question. I'll let you off the hook on that one.
Okay.
What is your greatest sports moment as an athlete?
Ooh, my greatest sports moment as an athlete. Being part of that Final Four team.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Number 3. What is your favorite thing about Cincinnati?
Ooh, man, this is.
Hey, listen, I had to
The
come up.
jalapeno cheddar grits at.
Oh gosh, please. And the thing is, so when I was basically everything I had before this, I know you so well. It's non-scripted, but these 4 questions, I had to think about these because I didn't want you to be able to. I wanted your brain to think a little bit because you're really quick on your toes. So.
You getting me? You are getting me. Cincinnati.
Because you're born and raised.
The sports is. I love the Reds. I love the Bengals. I think our sports culture is pretty solid, you know, and so I enjoy that. There's a lot of good parks around here, And I actually, one of my hobbies is taking walks.
Okay.
Having good scenery. And there's a lot of good places around here to take walks. And yeah.
Do you remember we were getting ready to do a podcast? See if you remember this too, Cruzy. We're getting ready to do a podcast. I'm sitting in the seat that you're sitting in. We're in this exact room here. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you're sitting over here. And you look at your phone and you went, we're getting ready to get started. You went, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Oh.
And I said, what is wrong with you? And you were like, Joe Burrow just got hurt. Out for the season. I knew it. I knew it. Remember that?
Yes. Of course I do. That was tragic because I knew it. I just knew it. I knew it was coming.
But it led to a better Joe Burrow. Am I right?
And that's the theme with this podcast, for real.
Man.
It's things that seem like they're not working in your favor, leading to a better you.
And it made the Bengals address that line.
Exactly.
Okay. I will never forget that moment. That's one moment I won't forget with Stu. He just out of nowhere. You scared Cruzy. Cruzy was scared. He was, it woke him up. It woke him up. Were you tired because I was boring you with the pot? With the? Oh, of course not. Okay. It was a long day. Okay. Fourth and final question.
Okay, here we go.
Stu Holt. Mm-hmm. And I ask this question a lot. If you had to go to battle, and you can only take one person with you, and you know whatever battle you get into, y'all ain't losing because I got this guy with me. Or girl. Yeah. Who is that person that you take the battle with you?
This is a teammate or?
This could be anybody in life.
So it's just in life and anything.
That you know.
That I know.
Yeah, you can't get
I mean, somebody personally that I know that it
Correct.
could be a sports game. It could be a card game. It could be whatever.
It could be whatever. That one person you know when you go to battle, we ain't losing because this person's gonna go to war.
And here's the crazy thing. The person I'm going to pick.
It puts you in weird spots because you gotta like rank your friends in sense, right?
The person I'm going to pick, we might lose. But if we do lose, I'd rather lose with this person.
I like how you phrased that. Okay.
And my best friend since preschool, and that's my boy JB.
JB. Wow.
My boy JB.
I like that.
We've been best friends since preschool, man. We met in preschool. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's over 20 years of friendship.
Yeah.
And we're only 27. We're 10 days apart. I'm 10 days older than him. So his birthday is February 23rd. And he's one of my assistant coaches. So, that's my guy, man. And so, back in the day, I used to go to his house. He used to go to my house, spend the night for days, right? And we would go outside and play, and we'll play 2-on-2. 2-on-2 football, wiffle ball, basketball, whatever, whatever it was, or it was 2-on-2, and I feel like we're not going to lose. So if it's a basketball game, a card game, or whatever it may be, I'm going to pick my boy JB. We're going to get it done.
That's your guy. Did he recently get married?
He did just get married.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here in town?
Yes. It was June 4th.
Nice.
June 4th. It's been an interesting month.
10 days prior to you being named the head coach.
It's crazy.
Walnut Hills.
It's crazy.
Is he going to be on your staff?
Yes.
Is he?
Yeah, he is.
Let's go. I was actually just
You just playing?
I was just playing.
No,
okay.
yeah, he is.
He is. Okay, good.
Yeah, got to have him there.
Well, so, as we move further along with the podcast and we get into the basketball season, you're going to have to keep us updated on how you guys are doing, especially keeping us updated on Tyler, because I know a lot of Bearcat fans are going to want to know your perspective and how he's doing and how he's growing as a player, because he's in – did he make the team for the Team USA?
He did not. So he made the first cut, didn't make the second cut. So he's back home now.
Well, could you tell everybody what that is first?
What, the USA?
Yeah.
So it's the 17-year-old and under team. And so he went to that tryout. I think they started with 38.
It was in Colorado.
It was in Colorado. I think they started with like 35, 30, something like that, 38. I think it was 38, though. players. So he made the first cut, right, which I think it was down to 18. And so he made like the top 18, and then I think they did a second cut, and I think they got it down to 12. And so he didn't make the second cut, but I was really proud of him, man, to even be selected to go down there.
Amazing honor.
And then to make the first cut, like, you know, more than half of the people were sent home, and he was still there. So it's like definitely a good experience for him. He learned a lot. I know he said he learned a lot. So, yeah, man, I'm very proud of him.
Nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh, no doubt, man. No doubt.
And you know what? Sometimes, so if you look at it, you know, Tyler McKinley is getting a lot of love on social media. You know, he's got offers out the wazoo. Yeah. So there's a lot of positives and a lot of people talking about him. Sometimes things like that are great for you because everybody's telling you how great you are. Yeah. And he's a very humble kid. Like, not that he gets a big head, but I don't care who you are. If Cruzy here, you know, walks around Cincinnati and everybody tells him how good looking he is, he's going to start going, I'm pretty damn good looking. Right?
Yeah.
It's just what happens. And then that one girl might go, you're okay. You know, you get your hair, you know, a little different or something. I'm not saying that's what you need to do, Cruzy. I'm just saying that's, if that was, yes, I would tell you. Your hair looks fine right now. Fine. I didn't say like great. Just fine. It's fine.
Decent.
Yep, it's safe. But no, sometimes those things, you know, make you go back to the drawing board a little bit and look and think I got to sharpen up some things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you need it.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you need it, man. Sometimes you need that, you know, like you said, look in the mirror, look at some things you need to work on. Because a lot of times, like you said, you're getting praised so much. You're getting all these accolades, right? And everybody, you know, hyping your name up. A lot of times you need a moment that reminds you that you still have some work to do, right? And that there's other people out there that can hoop as well, you know? And so, you know, when you see that, it's like, okay, you know, I'm good, right? I'm really good, but I still have a lot of ways to go to become who I want to become, you know? And so it's always good to have that, man. It's always good to have that.
Yeah. And he's such a great kid. Yeah. Like the thing about Tyler that I think he fits in so well with the Bearcats now is, you know, Wes Miller is recruiting a certain type of player, a certain type of kid, right? And you can say the same about Luke Fickell. There's a culture that's been created at the university, right? And a certain type of kid and player that has to fit in there. Right. And I think Tyler is of that ilk. You know, he's solid all around. And I think going to Walnut Hills is huge for not only Tyler, but any kid. Yeah. Because of the diversity at that school, high academics. Yeah. It is the true gym. Just think about that. And I called you that one day. I think I was on my way to like Columbus or something for a tournament. I was on my way somewhere. And I called you and I'm like, you are coaching at one of the greatest schools. Yeah. Maybe not only in the state of Ohio, but one of the greatest schools in the country because you can go online and find all types of like rankings on academics, you know, of schools, and Walnut's right up there. Yeah. It is a really neat school.
It is, man. It is. It's a place like no other. It really is. Like you said, the diversity and the academics, man. Sports culture is great. What I tell people is a lot of times people say Walnut represents high academics. Yeah. But I think it represents endless opportunities. Because no matter what you're into, no matter what your interests are, whether it's sports, whether it's academics, whether you're into whatever, there's something there for you to grow in, you know? And it's like we have a lot of clubs, and even if there's not a club of something that you're interested in, you have the opportunity to create a club. So that's why it's endless opportunities, man, because Walnut allows you to either be a part of something or to even create it, right? And so it's an amazing place, man. And
but isn't that how life is, though? That's like you're giving young people a taste of what real life is like. Life is diverse. Life is about creating opportunities.
Opportunities, and it's there. And it's there, man. Like the resources are there. It's just all about, are you going to tap into the resources? You know, and like once again, that's life. You know, and so it's a cool place, man. It really is, and I'm honored to be there. I was honored to be there as a student, as an athlete, and now as the coach, man. And It's a representation of the real world for sure.
Now, I have to tell you this.
Okay.
I saved this for the end of the podcast.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Now, here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot start 0-2. You know why?
What? Oh,
Tell everybody why.
well, there was somebody else who started and finished 0-2.
0-2. And that would be?
He goes by the name of Alex Meacham.
Yes. I once coached at Walnut Hills and was head varsity coach for 2 games and was 0-2.
Fun fact, 0-2.
What are the odds?
What are the odds?
Oh, I don't know who does the scheduling at Walnut,
Mm-hmm.
but those first 2 games, you have to make sure you schedule correctly.
Oh, no, we're going to – hey, look, whoever it is.
Oh, you okay. I'm going to be at those first 2 games.
Yes. And when we win the first game, I'm going to point to you and be like, Meech, this is for you, Meech. This is for you.
But that is going to be an exciting moment when you win your first game as the head coach of Walnut Hills High School.
I know.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting.
That's really good. Cruzy, you told me before we even started this podcast that you're going to have to go to some Walnut Hills games. He'll be at a bunch. Now, if you need a halftime performer at your games,
yes,
Cruzy's your guy.
Yes.
Cruzy will be performing tomorrow night in Clifton on Ludlow at the Upside Cafe. So check out his set, and maybe he can do his set at halftime of the Walnut games. I'm not sure if that's the crowd.
Look, it's going to be the crowd for that day.
Yeah.
Cruzy, halftime performance, game 1, first home game. Let's go.
Wow.
Do you accept, Cruzy? You accept?
I will be there. Are you going to do the song?
If you do the song, I think you'll get a good reaction.
You know what song I'm talking about.
Oh, no, you know.
No.
No.
All right, Cruzy, we'll let you off the hook. We'll talk.
Okay.
So, best of luck.
Thank you.
Excited for this opportunity for you. You're gonna crush it. There's no question about that. I've got to look up and see who the youngest varsity head coach in the greater Cincinnati area is, and I'm pretty sure it's Stu Holt. And yep, and we're gonna keep tabs on Tyler McKinley as well. I'm excited to follow his progress, as is a lot of the Bearcat fans out there. So you can follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram.
Hold on. Before you do that, because that's usually the ending.
Wow.
That's usually the ending. But before we end, I can't let us end before I say this. Shout out to Alex Meacham.
Uh-oh.
Shout out to Alex Meacham. Because, and I told you this, we were on the phone. When we were on the phone, it was like the day, I think it was the day of. Yes. No. It might have been before that. I might have told you.
It was before it was announced.
It was before it was announced.
You're right.
And I told you what was going on, that I was going to get the job and all of that. And the reason why I say shout out to Alex Meacham is because your mentorship, your leadership, a lot of times the best lessons are ones that are not taught, but they're caught. So, just watching you, how you move and how you lead, your relationships with kids, how you do stuff business-wise, all of that stuff, man, with media and all of that. It's really been great to see, and I've learned a lot. And I'm a better leader because of it. I'm a better coach because of it. Better business person because of it. And so a better communicator because of it. So you've really helped me get to where I am right now. Wouldn't be the leader that I am right now without Alex Meacham. So I had to say that before we ended the show.
Wow. Kind words. No, I first of all, I really appreciate that. Kind words. Was glad to impart any wisdom, whether it was me giving it to you or you just seeing, how I'm moving. So that means a lot. That really means a lot. So
stick to the script.
Stick to this. That's one of my famous.
But here's the thing. Here's the crazy thing. Here's the crazy thing. I was talking to it was JB. I was talking to JB, and we were talking about top 5 moment in my interview history. I've interviewed a lot of people.
Yeah, you have.
And I've done a lot of different shows, but this right here was top 5. I want you to tell me who said this. Don't chase the money.
Yep.
Chase the cars. Don't chase the materialistic stuff. Don't chase the what? The love.
That's right.
Chase the love.
That's right.
Alex Meacham. That right there is what every coach needs to hear and what every leader needs to hear.
Thank you.
And so I'll never forget it. Yep. I will never forget it, man. And it's one of the best pieces of advice that I've gotten is to make sure you're chasing the love. It's so easy, man, to get caught up and start chasing this other stuff.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But as long as you chase the love, keep the main thing, it'll never steer you wrong. So
well, first of all, thank you very much. That means a lot. That's so funny you say this because I've had 2 dinners with 2 young men that I'm mentoring. One is Drew Donnelly, who's a wide receiver for the Bearcats, and Jared Hensley, who plays on the basketball team, who I'm mentoring as well. And I've just shared that same thing with those guys. So I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
So and I'm even more excited to be a part of this second part of your chapter of the book. Very good.
Very good.
Very good.
Chapter 1 good. Chapter 2 very good.
Love it. We better get out of here before the lady comes back and tells us we got to go. Yeah. All right, we'll try this again. Okay. You can follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Alex_Meacham. Meacham spelled Meacham. I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn at Alex Meacham. I'm on Snapchat, Big Meach 41. And thanks to the head coach of the Walnut Hills Eagles, Stu Holt. I'm on TikTok at Alex Meacham 41. And I want to thank all the Bearcat fans out there for listening to another episode of the Bearcat Basketball Podcast. Go Bearcats.
Good. Good.